with Dr. James Ford and John Fraser. Tough Talks are designed to give students a safe place to have dialogue about difficult topics. The facilitators will be recorded, but the camera will be turned off during the portion where students will be encouraged to participate. We have MSU Tough Talker moderator Jennifer Wiley. Having grown up in Springfield, Jennifer has learned the power of sincerity, curiosity, and moments of curiosity during her time at MU studying animal science has led Jennifer to explore places around the world she never imagined she would or should. Her travel and work have allowed her to meet new people who have changed the way she views and experiences in the world. Jennifer is now the managing partner of Core Collaborative International. She enjoys talking with students and families to learn about how they experience tough conversations and why they participate in them or avoid them. Through her work, Jennifer hopes to help people hear one another and come to recognize how the lives are connected. Also with Jennifer, we have Mr. Ramsey. He is a teacher at Advanced who previously lived in Florida, but he's been living in Springfield for a couple of years now. Now to Dr. James Ford. Dr. James M. Ford is retired from Lebanon High School, where he taught advanced social studies, including advanced placement American heritage. Prior to joining the faculty of Lebanon High School, the school from which he graduated, Ford served in the United States Army. His service included leading a Hawk missile system platoon in charge of the military police, 2nd Armored Division prosecutor, and the regional judge to advocate of the Criminal Investigation Command for Korea, Japan, and Hawaii. Ford served as a registrar for Miles College in Birmingham, Alabama, and as a full professor in the Southern College in Tallapoosa, Alabama. And finally, John Fraser. John Fraser was born and raised in Western Missouri, near Kansas City, Missouri. He graduated from William Crispin High School in 1995, from Southwest Baptist University in 1999 for a bachelor's, and from SBU in 2002 with a master's of science in education. Mr. Fraser is currently working at Lebanon High School. He started working here in 1999 and has had 19 years at LHS. He currently teaches honors world history, Roman history, American military history, and he also coaches high school volleyball, middle school soccer, and cross country. His wife Amanda is a special education teacher of Midwest Elementary in Lebanon, and he has 2 sons, ages 13 and 10. Now on to the presentation. Sure. Hiya. How are we doing? Thanks. Thanks for not leaving me hanging. I appreciate that. So I'm Jennifer Wiley. I'm really excited to be here today. I thought I had walked into Barnes and Noble. Wow, this is a nice library. If you have time. It's a great space. So we're gonna have a couple of presenters, your esteemed presenters, talk about some topics today that may be tough and challenging, and then Ramsey and I are going to help facilitate a conversation amongst the group. That's kind of why we wanted you to be able to see each other and have chat. So some of you may have cards, and if you don't have them, just and you want a 3x5 card, you write a question on to ask one of the speakers a question, or if maybe you don't feel comfortable saying it out loud, you don't have to put your name on it or anything. Just pass it up to the front, and one of us will read the question. I also wanted to lay some ground rules about how we can talk with one another productively, because that's kind of why we're here, is to ask questions that we may not know where else we can ask. So to have an opportunity to do that productively, I would ask that when people are talking and asking questions, when your peers are talking, to really listen, and listen for understanding, not necessarily listening to respond or to argue, but try to really hear what they're saying. Another thing, just housekeeping things, is whenever we ask or respond, keep it to the topic instead of addressing that person that maybe you're responding to. Speak to the issue instead of speaking directly to that person, because we don't really, it's not about making it personal. This is not a session here to change your values or to change your mind, right? It's to be able to hear each other. Okay, so speak to the issue. And just, enjoy and be curious. Feel free to write down whatever thoughts you might have on the card. And yeah, do you have any questions about how we're gonna roll? Preliminary questions? Ramsey?
And so we don't know all of you, won't remember all of your names, but if you would, raise your hand and just, if you have a question or something, let us know your name. Not ask you your name. And, yeah, help us get to know you.
And we'd like to see you.
All right.
Take it away.
brief slideshow with you on some of the history of Confederate flags and the folk culture that's being used. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I could talk for a very long time, so you guys will have the opportunity to talk and to talk. So let's go ahead and get started. What flag's that?
Confederate battle flag.
It's
Getting
the flag of West
closer.
Virginia.
What?
It's the flag of West Virginia.
I heard Virginia, I heard Confederate flag,
The
battle flag. You get closer when you say battle flag. It's a battle flag of the Army in Northern Virginia. Everybody, a lot of people think that was the Confederate national flag. That was never the Confederate national flag. Okay, this is the battle flag of the Army in Northern Virginia. It's whose army then? Robert E. Lee after Joseph Johnson died. Okay, Battle of Seven Pines. That would be considered Robert E. Lee's flag, right? So that was the first one. They actually had three of them, right? Flags Act. They named Stars and Bars. That is the Confederate national flag. I mean, you knew that. A lot of people say that's the. I've heard people say it's the flag of the American Revolution. No, right? So that was actually the first Confederate flag that was nationally flown. So in battles that were fought by the Army in Northern Virginia, they would have flown that flag and that flag. Okay, does that make sense? So there's your first national flag of the Confederacy. How many flags, national flags of the Confederacy you have? Okay. Here's your next one. Okay. First national Confederate flags were replaced with this. Why? Why do you think they would have replaced it? His army was very successful. Come on, military history people. Robert E. Lee, right? Very successful, okay? Many believe the Stars and Bars look too much like what? The U.S. flag, which is why I said a lot of people think that's the original flag of the United States. It's not, right? The upper left portion of the flag is called a canton. And you guys already said it. Why is a canton incorporated? Yeah, it's Robert E. Lee's flag, the Army of Northern Virginia, very successful. All right, why do you think they finally got rid of that flag? They got rid of this flag. Why did they get rid of it?
Odd shape.
Not so much shape. Think about the wind's not blowing. You got that flag in it.
Just looks a little like
Yeah, all right. It is the flag of surrender. Okay? There's too much of it's white. Okay? Wind's not blowing. Looks like you're surrendering. They said, no, we can't have that. We got to get rid of it. Okay? So they went to this. Okay? And you guys just said, why did they have the red? Because it looked like they're going what? Right? All right. Questions about history? Real quick history of Confederate flag. Right? Now you know something that 99% of Americans or more think that was the national flag of the Confederation. Okay? It is not. Everybody hear that? It was never the national flag. Now, did they incorporate it? Sure they did. Okay? Alright. Now, y'all seen a lot on the Confederate statues and stuff, right? So in the late 1800s, early 1900s, you started having stuff like the Lost Cause. And I'm not going to get into that. They started to put up statues and stuff. But you get into the 50s and 60s, you start seeing the flag used a lot more. So there was a period in the late 1800s, early 1900s where it really wasn't even used that much. Okay, but where did they bring it back to do? Obviously. All right. So people that oppose the civil rights movement. Here we have someone holding up a flag during a march back. Right. There's another one. What does that say? Okay. What does the guy got? It's a passenger in that at the front of the car. Yeah, battle flag Army Northern Virginia. Okay. So definitely used with racist overtones here. White power, right? And now we're going to get into more modern stuff, right? Okay. KKK. That's when school started. Y'all remember that? Anybody remember that? Okay, what's that? Alright, so not, what event is it? Okay, alright, so what, see what they're doing here? You see an association between what? Yeah, the battle flag Army Northern Virginia, and of course the Nazi flag that the Germans used in the 1930s and 40s, right? Right? Alright, if you've had me in class before, you may have learned that that's not where that symbol originated, but we're not going to get into that here. Okay? So,
Stage, isn't it?
you know, there's all kinds of stuff around the world that's been used for. Alright, so that was less than a year ago, folks, right? Okay. So this is in Salesville, Arkansas. You've ever been to Mount Home, Arkansas? Okay. This is about a 2-hour drive from Lebanon. Okay. My wife took this picture. That's sitting up in the corner. What do we got here? Come on, you guys. It's be like class.
Federal flag and some form of modified neo-Nazi flag.
Okay. All right. So that's just 2 hours away from us, folks. Okay. Look at the statistics here. We have 418,000 Americans, over 418,000 Americans died in World War II. 360,000 Union soldiers died in the Civil War. Okay, trying to defeat both flags, right? Okay. Recognize that, anybody? Yeah. Dukes of Hazzard, generally, right? So, what started to happen with the show? One of those. Yeah, some stations canceled it. Okay. It's kind of interesting, though. Who was the bad guy in Dukes of Hazzard?
Sure.
Who was the bad guy? Boss Hogg. What's Boss Hogg's full name? Call him Boss Hogg. The Jefferson Davis Hogg. Who's Jefferson Davis? The President of the Confederacy. So, isn't this interesting? There are a lot of people claim the show was racist because it had a Confederate flag, but the bad guy that they're always fighting was a guy named Jefferson Davis Hogg. Okay? You talk to anybody who was on that show or anything, they'll tell you it wasn't racist at all. Right? So, some people that I've met who fly the flag fly it because of the fact maybe that heritage, but a lot of people I hear is because, well, we don't like what the federal government is doing. Some of them fly it in no way that it's racist, so we need to keep that in mind. That, yeah, this stuff is a problem, isn't it? You know what I'm showing you? This stuff is a problem. It's just like what you talked about in assembly today. Okay? Not everybody who puts it in a place. I know someone who's got a General Lee kind of remake of that car, okay, they're no way racist. So you got to be careful about perspective, don't we? Right? Now, I'm not going to show you, but if you guys want me to share this with any students or teachers, I'm not going to show you all these links, but we've got one here with Kanye West wearing the Confederate flag. Okay, so I am going to end it with the video here in a minute. You guys will start the tough talk. Any questions so far? Okay, so here's what I always keep in mind. Okay, when people are flying it with overt or even covert racist overtones, both those flags have been what? Defeated. Okay, I mean the Nazi flag is a flag of, honestly, it's a flag of a bunch of losers, right? I mean they lost. They got beat pretty bad at the end, right? Okay, same thing with Confederate flag. Got beat. Right? All right, I want to show you this video. And I think this will be a good segue into what we're going to do here. It's not very long. We're going to have to watch an advertisement, of course.
Some Some traits you're born with, like your mom's eyes, but your smile is your own. Protect it with Arm & Hammer toothpaste. It works differently using the natural power of baking soda to help neutralize acids that erode enamel for stronger, healthier teeth and gums. Only with Arm & Hammer.
We have a lead with the power of the heart to change a mind. Here's Steve Hartman on the road.
This neighborhood in Somerville, South Carolina is predominantly black. And no one cared when Annie Cadell moved in 7 years ago.
I love that.
At least, according to her neighbor, Juanita Edwards. No one cared at first.
When she came here, she seemed to be very nice.
Until
A little while later, she started putting up Confederate flags. Every morning when I would walk out to get my newspaper, that's the first thing you see. My husband stopped going to get the newspaper in the morning.
And so began a very public fight. When the neighbors protested in front of her house, Annie invited counter-protesters to stand in her yard. When the neighbors put up walls on both sides of her property to block the view, Annie put up a taller flagpole. Her brazenness made international news.
Once you get my hatches raised, I don't back down. I don't make no apologies.
Eventually, the war settled into a stalemate of sorts. There were no more marches, no bigger walls, no taller flagpoles. Just a quiet bitterness on both sides. Until, just recently, when Annie had a change of heart. Quite literally.
When you have a heart attack and you're being told you're not going to live very long, you're facing your mortality. I needed to clean up the messes that I made by being so stubborn. And I have asked anyone within earshot to forgive me.
She started with one of her fiercest critics, director of the local community resource center, Lewis Smith.
She said, I have decided to take down the flag. I said, huh? I couldn't believe what I was in disbelief. I went in hard. Somehow God touched her heart.
Not long after, she presented him with the flag.
And Miss Annie, we thank you.
Today, a South Carolina flag flies in its place, and Annie is hopeful the walls will be the next to go. She's already getting waves from the neighbors and enjoying her new perspective on the world.
If all species of birds can get along, why can't we?
Can we get people to be less stubborn about the heart attack part?
That would be lovely, but sometimes it takes a serious action to happen to you before you see your actions on others.
Annie says before, she only saw the Confederate flag through her eyes as a way to honor relatives who fought for the South. Now, she says, she cares more about her living neighbors than her dead relatives.
You don't feel like you're dishonoring them?
No, I'm not. I think I've done more honor for them now than I've done in my whole life.
And with that, our divided country inches a little closer together. Steve Hartman, on the road in Somerville, South Carolina.
Get you every time, doesn't it? That is the CBS Evening News tonight. I'm Jeff Moore. Do not forget to set your clocks ahead 1 hour this weekend
Don't do
for
that.
daylight saving time.